Yeah, let's give her.
All right.
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. Eat it anyway. Like a Muppet poking fun at the world, Tallmark crafts songs of playful composition and finely honed observational humor, simultaneously fusing satire with compassion. This bard jester's autobiographical bouquet squirts honest storytelling, meaningful insight, and slick wit. Does not involve any bananas. Contains one swear word. Now, Tallmark.
Sometimes I forget to stir my pasta and it clumps to the pan. Sometimes I double press my toaster and it comes up all black. I've microwaved for far too long. I've undercooked my steak. I've forgotten about my rice. I've overmixed pancakes. But one thing remains true. I'm always really hungry. So when I mess up in the kitchen, I laugh and rub my tummy. Eat it anyway. Eat it anyway. Shovel it in, it would be a sin if you let it go to waste. There's hungry people in the world, myself to name just one. So guzzle down your crunchy eggs and don't tell anyone. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Nice positive message, nice catchy tune.
Cheers.
So eat it anyway. So that's like a message of, don't waste food, right?
It's don't waste food. It's don't waste your time. It's don't waste your energy. It's don't waste your life. Not that there's a huge meaning to life necessarily, but just go for it. Just keep eating. You get served a plate of whatever that may be, whether it's your mind or your body or your food, eat it anyway.
Got it. Okay, I like that. That's a good positive approach. Say yes to opportunities.
Yeah.
Cool. So you're coming out here for the Fundy Fringe in St. John, 13th year for our Fringe Festival out here.
Wow. First year for me. First year Fundy, first year of Fringe. First, a bunch of firsts for me. I'm really excited.
Now, when you say first year Fringe, you meant before we started recording, you mentioned you're in Kingston. So do you mean like first time on the Fringe circuit, let's call it?
First time on the Fringe circuit, first time doing any Fringe festival. I've attended before. I enjoyed Victoria Fringe last year. But this is the first year I've submitted. I did my applications. I did all the paperwork. I did all the preparations. And I wrote a show too. Kingston Fringe, and then Fundy Fringe, and then Vancouver Fringe after that.
Cool. How's the reaction been so far in Kingston anyway?
The reaction in Kingston is good.
Yeah.
We've got good reviews. Kingston Theatre Alliance called it one of their top 5 shows. They've instantly top 5 of all their Fringe shows, which I thought is nuts. At the show yesterday, we've had audience members that have come back to see the show again in the same run, which is nuts.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's good reception. It's
awesome. What do you think is causing those reactions? Like, have you kind of pinpointed what's satisfying the audience?
Yeah, I mean it's so hard to be critical of your own work. I mean, it's easy to be critical of our own work. We're all our own harshest critics. But what are people coming back for? I mean, it's a good energy in the room. It's fun. It's a little bit different every time. Not by intention of the script, but by nature of me having such a strong improv background. There's always something new each day. A new joke that gets riffed, a new moment that happens. A couple shows ago, there was this pause of silence that happens in the show, and this woman just bursts out cackling during it. And so, I mean, there's always something new that's happening. I really focus on being present and the sort of theater experience, even though it's a musical show. it's a theater, and we're all in the room together making this energy together. It's an energy exchange. And so with a different audience, it's a little different every time. And it's fresh, it's jovial, it's fun, it's playful, it's, I think, relatively easy to swallow. And so I guess people like that.
Fun is good.
Fun is good.
I approve of fun. So, okay, so that's cool. So there's a mix of writing, of course, so structure, and then you leave room for improv. How do you find that balance? Like, how do you approach that?
Yeah, I mean, I was put into theater sports from a very young age, and theater in general from a young age. My mother was like, "Oh, just we'll give you some social skills," and then it turned into this. Currently, I'm a theater kid, I guess is what I'm saying. I feel like my songs, which are really more like pieces, if you will, my pieces are not fully developed ever, but they're definitely in their infancy before they have hit audiences, because they develop in front of a crowd. They develop with the crowd, right? I'll go through a song and I'll stop a song at some point and just crack a joke that's come to my head with that improv. And then maybe it lands, maybe it doesn't. If it does land, well, that's now part of the song. Now the next time I play that song, I'm going to do the same thing. So it's sort of this like strong theater sports background with a strong ADHD brain, and it comes together very nicely, I think.
So the crowd, the energy from the crowd, would you say it's like an important part of the show? And how does that, so, and you must have run across a crowd who's not receptive, or maybe they're just being quiet, but they're enjoying the show?
Yeah, the second show, I've done 5 shows in the last 6 days in Kingston Fringe. And the second show, the first show was exactly as I'm talking about. A lot of flow back and forth, a lot of interaction and bounce board and fun. The second show was fun, but it started with a very quiet audience, a very hands clasped in their laps, quiet theater audience, there to pay attention, there to enjoy the show. Absolutely, it's Fringe. But they were quiet, and they were to themselves. At the top of the show, I introduced myself. "Hey, I'm Tallmark. Nice to meet you." Silence amongst the audience. Most audience will go like, "Hey," or like some sort of interaction, or be like, "Hey, I'm John." The second show, not to call them out, but the second show that I did last week or whenever it was, the audience was quiet at first. Now, by the end of the show, we were all singing along and laughing, and there was that energy exchange that I talked about. But they needed a little molding, a little melding,
a little finessing. So when you're in that situation, is it considered like a challenge, or do you feel a slight bit of like, where's this headed?
It's not necessarily a challenge. And I'm never concerned about it. I mean, I've been on stage for so long that it feels natural, and I'm not. One thing that I know I'm good at is recovering from any sort of weird thing I could possibly say into a microphone. So it's never a concern. It's more of a note that I make. At the top of the show, I would note something like this, like, "Oh, this audience is a little quiet." Or when I hear the laughter come out, when I hear the first laugh, so when I ask for a woo and I hear the woo and it goes woo, and then it's gone, I'm like, "Oh, okay, this is an audience that like will do what I ask, but it's gone instantly. They're not, it's not like a woo. Like, I can tell how an audience is going to be based on the length and the attack and the decay, musical terms, of the woo."
Okay.
And it's fun. It's my responsibility as the ringmaster of the show, if you will.
As the entertainer. Okay. So can you identify, maybe one of these situations, identify like a certain one or two, assuming you can see the crowd, 1 or 2 crowd members who are ready to like help you amp up the energy, and you kind of try to like signal them, like, come on, give me a woo, give me the right kind of woo I'm looking for?
Yeah, I can't see the crowd at the beginning of the show. But I can... there is that interaction. Even from the darkness, you hear someone say something. I mean, we're doing this in like 50, 100, 150 seat theaters, right? Mm-hmm. So it's big enough that there's some mob mentality, that people have some sort of anonymity in the crowd. But it's also small enough that I can hear where that, shout came from. And it's a show where I encourage people to speak their mind. I welcome a healthy heckle, right? And whatever you say during the show, I'm going to draw attention to it, and I'm going to call you out. And so if what you said is intelligent or funny or, then here we go. Now everybody's laughing with you. But if you say something stupid, I'm not making fun of you, but I just let it speak for itself, right? And so every show that I've ever done has sort of had this censorship, if you will, that also is Fringe. We're getting amazing audiences, like, of course, respectful people, but it's fun to just let people be a part of the show, even though it's not welcomed as an improv show, so to speak. I don't think that's anywhere in the description of the show. Nobody goes to this thinking, I'm not making songs up on the spot, so far. But there's that, the ask is the theater sports term, right? We're asking the audience for, but like, that's the very clinical way of thinking about it, when you ask the audience for like a location or a relationship. But this is more just, I'm asking the audience for like energy, for vocal energy.
Okay.
And that's throughout the show. And that's true even just with laughter, right? You tell a joke, and by telling a joke, you're kind of asking for this vocal energy, for this response of, hey, laugh at this. Mm-hmm. It's not so diagnosed. Mm-hmm. It's not so I've given you a joke, so you've given me a laugh, right? Mm-hmm. It's more like, if I've done a good job at delivering the joke, then you're going to instinctively laugh.
Yep. Yeah, gotcha. So you're saying like this show you put together here for the Fringe Festivals is, you used to kind of like your prior shows, or you would self-censor based on what, maybe fear of the reaction of the crowd or something like that?
Not so much. I mean, I've been doing music festivals, kind of folk festival kind of things, for the last few years. And I mean, they're more general crowds. When you're playing for a group of people that are there for the whole show, for the whole festival, it's a different show than when you're playing for a group of people that are there for an hour, for specifically, a Tallmark show. So it's certainly different there. But the self-censorship comment that I made was more in response to how the audience reacts to me, what people are actually willing to speak out and say aloud. Because people will just say things during the show. People will just... the other day, some guy mentioned... There's a part in the show where we talk about Taco Tuesdays. And a guy mentioned that he thinks that we should eat... that Tuesdays are more of a pizza day. And there was just a silent grumpiness amongst the crowd, and some other guy in the crowd accused him of being racist, and we were all just, for the rest of the show, there was just this repeated callback to like, why would you say that?
Okay.
And so it was fun. It was good.
Okay. So you kind of enjoy it. So people can be comfortable to kind of like just say whatever, in kind of like a goofy little interactive way where it's less sterilized maybe, or something like that.
Yeah, somebody once described me as dissolving the fourth wall.
Okay.
And I like that.
Yeah. Okay. So it just blends, one, merge into one. The audience and Tallmark merge into one energy.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Okay, that's cool. So, like, why do you specifically say it does not involve any bananas? Like, what? Is there a backstory with bananas in your life?
Sure. No, there's just no bananas in the show. And I just wanted to make it clear that to anybody who wants a show with bananas, this isn't the show for them.
Okay.
And if anybody, explicitly wants a show without bananas, or if they're like not in favor of seeing a banana show this time around, there's no bananas in the show.
There's no bananas. Okay. So if you need potassium, stay away. Find it elsewhere. Find it elsewhere.
Yeah, I mean, maybe another show has bananas. There's probably some grocery stores around. There just won't be any bananas in our show, and I just wanted to guarantee that to the audiences. Alongside the one swear word, there's also one swear word in the show. It's family friendly, safe for all ages. Okay. It's actually really, really fun for the whole family because of that one swear word. But again, if you were looking for a show that has more swear words, this isn't it. This show has one swear word. It's a good swear word, and I think it's well done. And it is one swear word. So if you were, thinking you might be going to a show with no swear words, we have one swear word here.
Okay.
And I think it's pretty good.
Not bad. And it's important to set proper expectations. So.
Exactly. Yeah. Just expectations. That's all. I'm just trying to manage everybody's understanding of what they're getting into.
Okay.
So it's really clear that this is a show that has no bananas, and that this is a show that has one swear word.
Got it.
Just so you know, because sometimes you read a description of a show and you're like, what actually happens in it?
Yep.
What's gonna, are there gonna be bananas? I don't know.
I don't want to give away too much, of course, but the swear word is that the climax of the show, or maybe that's something people need to be there to discover?
You really need to be there to know the swear word or where it comes. Yeah. We don't want to really give too much away. I mean. Just see the show. It's got a swear word, so you're gonna love it, right? Everybody loves one swear word.
It's the cherry on top. Guarantees enjoyment. When you describe it as a bard jester's autobiography, does that mean? So is the show is full of nonfiction, like stories from your life?
Yeah. I call it a nonfiction absurdo-realism.
Okay, can you break that down a little bit?
Yeah. Nonfiction, they're all true stories. It's autobiographical. They're all things that happened to me. I have come into this bard jester life. I've been carrying this tiny guitar on my back for 8 years.
Cool.
Hence the bard. And I've been dressing like this for just as long, hence the jester. I tell these stories from my life. There's a through plot. The absurdo-realism to me is, earlier you said the Muppet poking fun at the world. And that's really how I look around and how I write. I write to process what's happening. And I look around and I go, wow, that's ridiculous. Wow, that's absurd. Wow, this thing in nature, in life, in the world, in our culture is insane. Like food waste, right? Eat it anyway. You burn your toast a bit, you go to the sink and you take a knife and you scrub the junk off the top of your toast and you eat it anyway. Come on, food waste is crazy. But then I take these parts of life that I think are absurd and I cover it in this thick, goopy, jelly, layer of goofiness. And so I try to make just how ridiculous the life that we're living is palatable. Okay, that sounds pretty fun. But there must be some lessons. I guess Eat It Anyway is a pretty good lesson, but there must be more lessons kind of buried beneath this all. So do you have some sort of plan in that regard, like an agenda? Yeah, I mean, my agenda is love. Look at me. Yeah. My agenda is love and peace. If we're gonna put an underlying thing to it, there are other notions. I get into themes of consumerism. I get into themes of capitalism. I get into themes of healthcare a lot, and the pharmaceutical industry. I get into themes of the working class industry, the overworked class specifically. I go back to kindergarten, and our upbringings. There's all, I jump around all these different things. Existentialism, which feels like it's everywhere now, but maybe that's just my life. Yeah, and I go around, and it's all covered in this thick layer of goofiness. But you peel away the goofiness, and if you just see the goofiness, it's fine. It's a good show. They're fun songs. They're good grooves. There's a lot of laughs. But if you peel away that goofiness and rub it all off and run it under some warm water for 5 to 6 minutes, maybe a little bit of dish soap, you get the bones of quite a socio-political perspective, I suppose. Yeah. Okay,
so it can kind of be enjoyed on multiple levels depending on what the audience, the listener, is looking for, depending how deep they want to dive into the meaning of it all.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you grow up as a kid, and certainly you grow up as a kid in theater and in entertainment, and there's some narrative or some sort of sprinkling of, how are you going to change the world, or how are you going to make the world better? I'm sure that exists in other industries too. I just grew up on a stage, and
that's part of growing up as a theater kid.
It was for me.
Okay.
That not, and I wasn't pushed into it for any reason other than social skills. I just happened to love entertaining.
Okay. Yep.
But I think that in general, when we're kids and we start being told and thinking about, what job are you going to do? Like, what impact are you going to have on the world? And I'm sure that's a class thing as well. But this is sort of, I grew up in the edgier parts of Vancouver. So it was like lower middle class for Vancouver, but like, I guess upper class compared to the world, if you look at Vancouver on the financial spectrum. Anyway, the idea of like, you go into the world, and how are you going to impact the world? How are you going to make the world better? And for a while there, I was working with charities, and I was working in politics, and I thought that would be a great way. And then I realized, just be a beacon of light wherever you go in your own local communities. Just spread love and kindness, and you'll make an impact on. It's much more easy, and I feel like much more powerful for me to make an impact in the small world wherever I find myself.
Mm-hmm.
And in regards to the performance and the music and the comedy and the storytelling, I think that shoving messages down people's throats is never going to work. I think that covering it with goofiness and covering it with love and making it easy to swallow. It's the sugar, it's the medicine in the jam. That's what it is.
Okay.
I go through some things in this show that were pretty traumatic for me. And the way that I write is, anytime I have a ridiculous experience, I laugh about it. I figure out how to laugh about it. And so I really think that getting in front of a crowd and us all laughing together about this traumatic thing in life. I mean, I don't sing about it in this show, but when the pandemic was happening, of course I wrote about that, and I wrote to process that. And I wrote this whole song. It's on YouTube, Tallmark Music. I wrote this whole song that was March 2020 in a song, and it's all those parts of March 2020. It's the single tin of old mushroom soup. It's the online meetings with your D&D group. It's the toilet paper pile that keeps stacking up when you're too scared to poop. It's I wrote this way how we can all listen to the song, we can all laugh about this traumatic thing together. Because the pandemic was traumatic for everybody in the world, regardless of how you looked at it or how you look back on it now. It was traumatizing for all of us. Mm-hmm. And I think that I think that laughing is the best medicine. I think laughter is the best medicine, and I try to spoon feed it with the gunk inside. And like I said, people are swallowing it. So, yahoo.
That's great. Yeah, I mean, you touch on a couple important points. I mean, like allowing people to kind of make their own conclusions, right? Like not forcing a message down their throat, letting people who are attracted to the ideas or messages that may be hidden deeper within the songs, let them find it on their own. And then also, sharing vulnerability and maybe treating it a little bit like group therapy, maybe a little bit. I mean, art's really good at that for helping people kind of shake off those negative feelings, though.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. I mean, art is such a part of the human condition, creative expression. Yeah,
absolutely. Speaking of that, did you want to play another tune?
Sure, why don't I play another tune?
Yeah, let's throw some more art out there.
Absolutely. Let's get some art in this world.
What's this one called?
I'll play you a snippet.
Okay.
A snippet here. I'll play you a little bit of this. So in the show, I play 5 different instruments. Here, I'm going to play my second instrument for this recording, for this radio broadcast. I play this song on a different instrument in the show, but this is the one I have handy. Everything else is at the studio today. So the quick pitch is, I was in a small town with my friend, Trombonissimo, and we're sitting around and we're trying to figure out how to use our musicianship skills to pay the bills. We've had a couple brews, we're in the park, we think, let's get some food, right? A bite to eat. It's 8:30 in the evening. Now, I grew up in Vancouver, where any time of day, any time of night, any kind of food you want, you've got it. But not in the town of Cumberland. In the village of Cumberland, at 8:30, there's no food for purchase. There's no grocery stores, there's no restaurants. You've got nothing if you didn't plan ahead. You've got Pop-Tarts at the mini-mart. You messed up. Try again tomorrow. And we thought, there's a market there. $100 hot dog, get it in your mouth. People line up round the block until we run out. They want that $100 hot dog, eat it with your teeth. Everybody chowing down sweet dog meat. The $100 hot dog, it's a pretty good size, but if you're really hungry, you should still order a side. $100 hot dog, $4 fries. They ain't nothing special, just a little Cajun spice. Oh, wait, you're not convinced? I guess I gotta give you a little more. We gotta break it down. Come on, it's gold-plated, got Wi-Fi, antibiotic, you can put it in your eye, sprinkle crumbs on your plants, bugs will leave them alone. And if you miss your buddies, you can use it as a phone, call them up.
Woo! $100 hot dog.
$100 hot dog, there's your sample of that song. The full song in Eat It Anyway at the Haven Music Hall.
Yes.
Tallmark.
All next week. That's cool. So that's kind of like a supply and demand issue, $100 hot dog. Is that kind of what yeah.
It's a supply and demand. It's how crazy is the meat industry. It's how crazy is consumerism. It's how crazy is inflation getting. Like $100 is not that crazy, right? For a hot dog. I mean, I've heard stories of $100 hot dogs existing in different cities around the world already.
Yeah, you're right. I wasn't really that shocked to hear you say $100 hot dog, but maybe, you should be shocked.
Okay, what's in it? Sure, it's gold-plated. Well, that seems pretty fair to me. I'm in.
You're right. I completely agree. Okay, now I want to hear the whole song, so I guess there's only one way for that to happen, and that is to go check out Eat It Anyway. That's right. Come see the show. We got Tuesday through Saturday. Yeah, Tuesday through Saturday. Now you're playing at Haven Music Hall, which is one of our newest venues in town. So it's pretty exciting. Actually, cool. Everyone's been pretty stoked on it. Oh, good. Yeah, I've actually never been to St. John. I've been to
New Brunswick. But I never made it down to St. John. So I'm excited to be there. It sounds like a good venue. I mean, it's got music in the name, so I think they're ready for music there.
Yep. Definitely, yep.
And we've really got the show dialed in, having done Kingston Fringe first. The tech is great. I'm fully wireless on the stage, so there's no cables. My goodness, there's everything. I can just roam, and that's really beautiful, and it's really engaging. There's nothing between me and the audience, right? We're there in the same room.
Okay, cool. Yeah, the no cable thing is freeing. Do you have like a backing band, or or is it a solo show?
Just me, a solo show. I'm traveling around with a co-producer to help me out because there's a lot of gear, there's a lot of instruments to tune, there's a lot of moving pieces to this, and so I have somebody, fortunately, on my team to help me.
Awesome.
And help with tech and whatnot. Although I'm told that we have great technicians in the venue as well. But it's really a one-man show with a buddy who's there as support and a good backbone.
Cool. Yeah, shout out to team members. Your co-producer, tech suit. Yeah, the tech there is named Corey. He's great. He's
nice.
A great tech.
Hello, Corey.
Yeah, shout out to Corey. That's awesome, man. I'm pretty excited to hear how the show goes. And there's all kinds. So you're playing Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Yeah.
Let's just go through the times. 8 p.m. on, these are Atlantic times, so just let everyone know. 8 p.m. on Tuesday, 10:30 p.m. on Wednesday, 5 p.m. on Thursday, 6:30 p.m. on Friday, 8 p.m. on Saturday. So that pretty much covers everyone's schedule who might need to get out there and check it out.
Yeah.
And what's the best way for people to reach out to you? I know you have an Instagram and a Facebook.
Yeah, you can get information, tickets. You can read our fantastic reviews, which I'm still glowing about. I'm still in awe of how nicely written this review is that Kingston Theatre Alliance published. And I've got some other audience quotes and stuff that people have said. You can read all of it at eatitanyway.ca, eatitanyway.ca. And you can find me on all the platforms at Tallmark Music or www.tallmarkmusic.com. Because I'm tall and my name's Mark and I make music.
Beautiful. I love a good logical name. And I'll put all those links, of course, in the old description, as they say. Link in bio or whatever the proper term is. Yeah. Exactly. That's awesome. Yeah, that's wicked. Is there anything else you want to touch on before we part ways? Do you want to end on a tune? Do you want to end on another snippet? Or?
Sure. Why don't I give you another snippet of another song?
Yeah, let's do it.
This is a song. This is a kid's song. Well, it's not a kid's song. This opportunity came across my proverbial desk one day to be the face of CBC Kids, to write and record and perform music for the blessed children of our country. Now, I love CBC and I love kids and I love my face. It's actually the poster for this show. If you see it around town, you know it's me. So it was a perfect storm, except they ended up going out with a different face, which is actually totally fine because I did not want to move to Toronto and I did not want to have to wake up at 5:30 every morning to write music for children. Gross.
That's pretty early. Yeah, 5:30.
5:30 in Toronto. Woo.
Yeah.
But it got me thinking, what do I have to teach? What would I share with the world? What are my lessons? Be kind. Be kind. Be kind. If you're not kind, everybody will hate you. Be kind. Be kind. If you're not kind, you will die alone. When I was in kindergarten, I had a friend. His name was Najathan. Every day we'd get together and have ourselves a game of dinosaur checkers. Well, one fine day, Najathan was upset that I was winning, 'cause I was playing Red. He took my big old King T-Rex and chewed it up into plastic specks. Well, I wasn't so happy about my favorite game, and neither was the teacher. It wasn't okay to be upset and chew your friend's big old red plastic King T-Rex. Then Jathan felt bad. It was his fault. Acting on impulse was his downfall. But we were only 5. A lesson was learned to let the dinos do the eating while we just take turns. So be kind. Be kind. If you're not kind, everybody will hate you. Be kind. Be kind. If you're not kind, you will die alone. Everybody sing along wherever you are. Be kind in your cars. Be kind. If you're not kind, everybody will hate you. In your gym, be kind. At work, kind. If you're not kind, you will die alone.
Beautifully said.
Thank you.
And sung.
Thank you.
You know, I have to admit that the people in my past that I've worked with on various jobs, the people who weren't kind, I really don't like them, and they didn't seem to have a lot of friends.
Yeah, it's funny. It's true. It's not a great reason to be kind, but it is a true song.
It's very true. It's a very good lesson.
Yeah.
Well, thanks a lot, Tallmark. That was fantastic. I'm really quite curious to see the whole show unfold, all the 55 minutes of it.
Yeah. I think we may have pushed it to 60 minutes.
Beautiful.
I mean, it's 55 if there's no audience engagement. If everyone sits there quietly and says nothing for the whole show, it'd probably be 55. Although it might actually be 65 because I might just stand there in silence for a bit and stare at everybody.
Yeah.
To break them down. I'm just going to break everyone up to pieces.
Perfect. So, I mean, we should remind the listeners that, some sort of audience participation is welcomed it's welcome.
Yeah. It's not necessary. It's not mandatory. If you want to be quiet and sit in the corner, that's totally fine. Mm-hmm. I propose that this show will invite you to participate, that you will be called to participate, and that might just be through laughter. I feel like laughter is participation. I feel like being in a room of a theater show is participation. Like, if you're there and you're engaged and you're paying attention, you're participating. You can feel... I went to a show yesterday that had this really intense scene with a young girl and an old man and a weapon. And it was really intense, and the audience was dead silent, but we could all feel the energy in the room. And the actors who can't see the audience at all because the stage lights were so bright, I was talking to them afterwards, and they're like, yeah, we really have no idea how, like, what the audience is feeling. And I was like, no, like, we're all locked in and silent and paying attention, and lean into that, right? Feel that the silence is participatory.
Beautiful. That's great.
I could talk for hours. I'm having a great time at Fringe.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's so cool. I've seen like 10 shows at Kingston Fringe here between my own shows, like in the time between my own shows and barking and wandering down the street and playing $100 hot dog for rooms full of people who aren't yet in the show. Mm-hmm. I've managed to see 10 shows, and it's incredible. I'm having such an amazing time. People have been telling me for years that I'm a Fringe artist and that I should be doing Fringe, and now I'm finally doing it. And even the shows are great, but getting to see all these other shows that go on and getting to see all these other Fringe acts and the weird edges of the artistry world in these small towns especially, which I love so much. I love a small town. Vancouver feels like a small town, but I love 100,000 plus or minus 50,000 or plus or minus 99,000. Anyway, I could ramble on about this forever. I'm having a great time here, and I'm really excited for Fundy Fringe. Yeah, we're excited to have you. And next Thursday we're doing live interviews with some artists. So maybe if you want to come up and play some songs live on the radio too, I would be up for that. That'd be kind of fun. Cool. So. Yeah, next Thursday. Shoot me an email about that. I'm sure we can. Yeah, not put you on the spot. Just thought I'd mention it. Yeah, that's awesome. Well, yeah, all right. No, love that. So I wish you all the best. I know the show's going to be well received, and maybe if we're lucky, we'll see you up here at the station next week. Yeah, cool. Thanks for having me. No problem. Have a great time in the rest of the Kingston Fringe.
All right, and that was Tallmark from Vancouver, British Columbia. He'll be in town here as part of the Fundy Fringe Festival starting August 19th with his show Eat It Anyway, happening at Haven Music Hall, Tuesday at 8 p.m., Wednesday at 10:30 p.m., Thursday at 5 p.m., Friday at 6:30 p.m., and again on Saturday at 8 p.m. Sounds like it's going to be pretty fun, pretty enjoyable, a little bit of everything. I'm looking forward to it. Maybe I'll see you there. Thanks for listening.